Alright guys, here's my vision. I'm taking 4-inch PVC caps and I'm working on grinding off the lettering so they look very generic. And then I am going to take these AutoZone cheap $20 speakers, mount them in here, and make them into speaker pods. So what I've done so far is trace the outline of, basically stepped on a piece of cardboard with this face down so I can get an imprint, cut it out, use that to mark my outside diameters. Took the speaker cutout template from the speakers, use that to make my inside. I'm going to cut these out, take them, glue them into here, mount my speakers, or mount them into here, paint it, put the speakers in there with the wires coming out glued here, and then I'm going to secure them to the inside of my windshield and hook a CD player or a MP3 player or something up to them to power them. Stay tuned. Get back with you here in a second. Okay, I've got the insides cut out and I'm just freehanding this as close as I can with a really cheap scale jigsaw, and then I'll sand it down to make it fit. I'm just trying to get inside of this line and a little outside of that line, and I'll do the rest with the sander. Alright, here's after one, and you know, like I said, I did it a little big. It's really rough and a little big so that I can sand it down smooth and stick it in there just right. Wish me luck on number 2. Well, here you go. No, you can't say I didn't learn anything in Cub Scouts. Nice little jigsaw work. Just got to sand them down again to slip in there. This one's really close. It's almost already in. Inside diameter can be a little rougher because I cut on the outside of the line. So they should just drop in there because they're really close to fitting in here now. I've seen people take a 4-inch pipe and stick it in there, glue it in and cut it off, and then put their screws in between the layers. But you know, I had wood laying around and want to spend another $7. So we're going to give this a shot. You know, like I was building a speaker box. I'm going to use construction adhesive, I guess, for gluing them in. And then we'll see what they look like. And then we'll be able to paint it up. I'll keep you along for the ride. So you turn this way. Stumbled upon a happy little accident here. I tried forcing the first one in that I sanded down, and it exploded because it was too big. But what happened then is I cut a slit to relieve pressure on the second one and compressed it and put it in there, and it actually springs itself open and wedges itself in there really nicely. So I think this is, when I glue it and spring it in there, it's going to make a lot stronger of a bond, and you're not going to see this because it'll be under the grill. So I think that's actually going to work out better. So let me cut out another one of these. Nice little spring wooden speaker ring, and glue it in, and then we'll go from there. Catch up with you in a bit. My construction adhesive was all hard, so I leveled up to E6000 and really glued them in there good. So I'm going to let this cure for 24 to 72 hours and put the speakers in. You can tell it's not perfect around the outside edges. There's some gaps and stuff, but this is going to be cemented in there so good. And all it needs to do is, you know, the speakers fit in there so tight. All it really needs to do is screw the speakers and the covers on. All right, here we are the next day. Hit them with some kind of low gloss. It's got gloss, but it's low gloss black spray paint. Drilled holes to mount them, drilled holes for speaker wire, and then use some waterproof, that same waterproof glue to just kind of seal the speaker wires. That'll be behind the windshield, so it shouldn't make a bit of a difference, but it'll keep them from wires from pulling out and stuff. So let that dry, then I'm going to mount them, put the speakers in them, wire them up, see how they sound. Alright, so here's my bike, and with the I used the outside bolts of the windshield trim. I've got these bolts on the windshield trim all the way up and across. The middle one is where the bag sits. So I just took the outside bolts and replaced it with a 1/4 inch same chrome nut or bolt, a little bit longer, and just put a regular nut on it on both sides. And you're probably still thinking this looks stupid, but just wait. I think it'll look better when it's all done. Alright, got the speakers in and the covers on. They're all wired up. I'll put it back on the bike and clean it up a little bit, and then we'll hook up the radio. This plate on it. I'll get a better shot of this so it's not pouring rain outside. It's all cleaned up, but I polished the windshield enough to see, you know, it's got these speakers, but they're in line with everything, so you really don't notice it that much. You know, it's just kind of subtle. Pointing back at me. Let's see how it works. Once I get them wired up, right now I just have the wires tucked into the windshield bag. Just to show you a little bit of what I'm doing here. I cut a piece to go in the bottom of my saddlebag that wedges in there, and then I built this box, drilled some holes for air and wires to pass. I'm just going to set that on there like that and wedge it in there, just so that it doesn't flop around and have the wires disconnect. Alright everybody, now I'm going to show you the finished product. So I put the stereo in the saddlebag, and I put it this way so that if I'm sitting on the bike and I look back to adjust stuff, it's right there. I incorporated a switch, and the switch goes to the power supply so that I can turn it on and off depending on the bike, so I can play my radio with my bike off. You know, it's not on the accessory switch, it's just hardwired in there on a switch. It doesn't drain the battery if it's turned off. When I hook up my battery tender, it'll unhook the radio so I can make sure I don't drain anything in the winter. I have the source wire, the battery wire hooked up so that it retains presets, stays on everything the way I want it. So when I flip the switch on and turn on my phone, it's ready to go. That's all hidden away. Wiring doesn't look that great, but it's tucked away so that when I do have everything in there like that, it is ready to go. And this is YouTube music, so I don't get demonetized if I ever get monetized to begin with. I just got my own YouTube channel up there right now. But this is like turned halfway up. Those speakers are plenty loud in those PVC pipes to be able to blast going down the freeway 60 miles an hour. Pretty good. I can show you a front shot. Thinking about doing a windshield with the lower half tinted and turning these down a little bit so that you don't see anything behind here, but you get used to it, you don't even notice it's there. Like, nobody said anything about it. There's no. Then let me know your thoughts in the comments if you think those speakers look bad. I'm trying to play music for you guys on here, but apparently playing my one video doesn't have much music on it. So let me know what you think. Subscribe, push that like button, share with your friends. Love to hear your feedback. Controls here, you know, I could turn it up and down. I could go to on Pandora, I could hit next station, or on MP3s. I could even watch YouTube, which I don't recommend. I've got unlimited data on my plan. I got this phone mount. I'll put the link to the description of this phone mount too. I could put the link to in the description to this phone mount. I just got this on Amazon. It was only like $16, and it's a real nice all aluminum. Real nice all aluminum phone mount that clamps and rotates different directions. Which I thought was really nice. It actually holds that in there so solid. All right, well, this is Andy from MNMoto. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Have a great day.